Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Kathy Wells with Insight Software, and we are honored to have our customer, Linda Dressbach from San Jose Water, presenting today. We believe that our audience gets far greater value out of hearing directly from our customers. So at this point, I will turn it over to Linda. Linda, if you could tell us a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your background in the J.D. Edwards world and the accounting and finance world, and a little bit about San Jose Water.
Okay, good morning. Well, it's morning here. I'm sure it's afternoon in a couple of spots. So at San Jose Water, I've been with San Jose Water since 2008, so 4 years. Prior to that, I worked in manufacturing, aerospace and defense, and I ran an IT department on an aerospace and defense application for about, I want to say, 25 years. After that, I went to Pricewaterhouse and did SOX auditing for the IT arena for 3 years. So coming to San Jose Water, I kind of have both flavors. So I really enjoy the application side and helping users make the best of the tools they have to do their job. And because of the SOX background, I get to be our IT interface person as well. San Jose Water is the water distribution system for Silicon Valley, California, and we've been around since 1866. Our current revenues are $239 million for 2011. So if you turn on a tap in the Silicon Valley, the water is coming from San Jose Water. We just recently, just right after the conference, the Envision conference, we went live on J.D. Edwards version 9. So we've gone from 8.11 Service Pack 1 to 9.0 Update 2. And with that same upgrade, we put in all new equipment. So during that upgrade, we went from the winter 2011 version of Insight over to the summer 2011 version. We have about 425 employees here in San Jose. And we have about 26 people altogether in the IT department organization. And then as far as our use of Insight, we began in 2008. We had Danny Nguyen from the Southern California office came up and did it. He installed Insight on our system and ran a couple of hours of training with HR and a couple hours of payroll and a couple of hours with our general ledger group. And off and running, we went to just play with the tool. What we were doing from the beginning was trying to find a tool that would replace what was called Showcase on the old Infinium system. When we brought the HR payroll group up, they were like, where's our tool? We can't get to our data. So they were our primary factor in looking at the GL company tool at the time was that they had lost the ability to do their inquiries and queries on data by using just the standard data browser in J.D. Edwards. It wasn't really sufficient for people like HR and payroll. So the last bullet here on the slide is that we currently have about 45 users, and we're using general ledger, payroll, timesheets, HR, purchasing, accounts payable, and inventory modules. So approximately 30 of those people are console users. We have a power user in each of the groups, like general ledger, payroll, and HR at the moment. Okay, so because the Showcase tool was really the missing link, we really started with a lot of inquiries and reports that the HR and finance groups needed. So they became kind of business partners with getting the Insight moving forward. And then after going to a few different conferences, we found some functionality that we didn't even know existed or recognized at the time within the Insight tool. And one of those was report packs. That was a new feature that we hadn't seen when we went to a little user group gathering. And another one was some of the security around the ability to do kind of more SOX controls around your financial reporting. So we actually moved from just using this as an inquiry tool to actually using it as our financial reporting tool. So a lot of the other bullet here on the HR payroll processes, we have a lot of the ability to do a lot of auditing of the payroll using Insight inquiries instead of just the paper reports that were coming out of the report package with the payroll process. So those are the things we've implemented since 2008, coming into the current upgrade with 2012. One thing we did in the upgrade, going from 8.11 to 9.0, is we eliminated all of our financial reports that were written in the J.D. Edwards report tool. We didn't bring any of them over. So we brought over things that we maybe had modified a payroll report or an HR report or a financial inquiry, but things that were used routinely. But the actual financial packages were requiring us to have pretty much an E1 J.D. Edwards programmer at the end of every month to adjust and clean up any reports that didn't run correctly. So with Insight, we've eliminated that whole process. And if you're familiar with SOX controls, when you change a financial report, it has to go through all kinds of steps to get approval. And now we're down to the point where an accountant can put in a new account and it will automatically show up on all the financial reports. And the only time we have to actually have a programmer involved is we basically control the hierarchy, and if the hierarchy requires changes, then we go through the SOX control process to audit and test and sign off on changes to the hierarchy. So when I show a little bit about the demonstration, I'll show you how we're using hierarchies and how there are a lot fewer hierarchies than there are reports. You can reuse in a hierarchy multiple times. So we've reduced the month-end close from what used to be over 7 days to get to a financial set. Just running the set of financial reports required that we have one person who runs them. She was running a total of about 40 different report programs in J.D. Edwards, and a couple of them took over 4 hours to run. So she would run the batches of reports on 2 different servers to get things moving along, and she would plan a 4-hour window to start and finish the batch of reports. If something changed during the close process or they made an adjustment, they'd have to rerun the whole set. She would have to have a 4-hour window to redo that. Now they're doing the financial close between 3 and 4 days, and we start on the 1st of the month, and she's able to rerun a set of reports in 15 minutes with Insight. So it's literally, they can run reports all month long and take a look at things and watch them as they go along. And at close time, they've got a new set of reports in 15 minutes. So a lot of the offline spreadsheets are also going away because now they can actually extract data directly from Insight, have a lot of it already pre-calculated in the Insight inquiry, so that when it comes to actually doing the analysis, there is a minimal amount of activity that has to happen on the spreadsheet. And if they need to refresh the data, it's really quick to pull the data again. I'm sure everyone has their problems and issues with SOX audits or just general accounting audits. One of the things we found was that getting the detail for the auditors, even for their selection process, where they want everything that happened in a particular account for them to download and make their selections from, has become really simple with Insight. We're able to just put in a range, pick the account number, and dump the data to a spreadsheet for them to select. And we're doing a lot of that without the auditors being on site. We can send them the spreadsheet, let them select, they send us back the items they want. All of those kinds of things are much quicker and easier to do, and we have a standard inquiry that the user can save and use the next audit. And I think our HR departments probably are one of our biggest fans. I think the HR director would quit if I was told her we took away her Insight license. She, from the very beginning, has been a power user, and she's insisted on a configuration license as well. So she's been pulling columns in and data in and connecting tables together since day one. So they've been very, very, very active in getting the information they need out of the system. They do all of their EEO reporting. If you've looked at the solution packs that used to come, they used to be called solution packs. They were the smart sets, but they are actual groupings of information that were already predefined, and we could just go in and tweak our account numbers or our department codes, things like that in the inquiries, and have them run efficiently for our HR department right away. And give them a much better baseline to work with to create the reports they needed. And we've also, down in Canyon Lake, pulled in their HR department, and they're running the same reports for their group very efficiently. So they're one of our key departments in terms of using Insight throughout the department. When I created this presentation before, the team asked me what we did did we use AR in collections, and I said, no, we just turn off their water if the collections instead of credit and collections. We use a customer care and billing system for all of our customer service, and that process actually runs credit and collections. So we don't have the AR module because we don't have our AR within J.D. Edwards. It's all done over on our customer care system. One thing we did do when we brought up the customer care and billing system is that system was now able to interface to J.D. Edwards on a daily basis, and we get data from that system on all kinds of statistics as well as customer billing information. So it includes all their water consumption and things like that. And we're now able to do analysis on a daily basis or a weekly basis. They can basically accumulate during the month within an Insight report, and that report pack comes out or can be run anytime. So in addition to upgrading the other system, we were actually able to provide more tools through Insight using the data that we're receiving. In the previous business solution for customer care, they would provide a spreadsheet at the end of the month of all that statistical information. So analysis had to happen during that month-end close, and that was one of the gating factors in trying to reduce the number of days of the close, was that the data didn't come until the end of the month. So now they're able to keep on top of it as the month proceeds. So where we are right now is we're currently rolling out the console to all the managers in the business units. They have to do their own budgeting and analysis, and they've been receiving those reports in the past, again, through J.D. Edwards' report that was then downloaded as a spreadsheet and provided to them, where they would mock it up and make the changes, and the budgeting person would have to manually make the changes back into J.D. Edwards. So right now, they're able to receive that information and look at the reports online through the console mode and review their budget information. And so we currently are looking at the budget module as well. To update that to one more step would be, once the managers are familiar with Insight, being able to actually provide their budgeting cycle through the budget module. The other area in the console user area would be their project management. We do a lot of work with our utility software package, but it's all within the utility application. But the data is all, basically cost data is all in J.D. Edwards. So we've designed some project management tools for them, and we're starting to deploy that along with the department expenses to their management. So we expect to see console users grow really quickly in the next couple months. So as that last bullet says, they're all getting a little bit smarter and a little more self-sufficient, and they're actually embracing J.D. Edwards more because they can get to the data now using the Insight tool. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do a little bit of a demonstration of what we've been doing with our report packs and our financial reports. So what I've opened up here is a sample of one of our report packs. I'll just show you what it looks like. One of the things I picked up from one of the other companies that implemented, and it's part of the security and kind of best practices that Insight posts now as well, is putting some folders together that you can actually manage and control a little closer. So we've set this global folder for our financial reporting, which is secured down so that only the IT department making the hierarchy changes or dropping reports into these folders has access. Everyone else has read-only. They can run all the reports and they can change their period dates. Otherwise, they don't really get into, they can't update anything or break anything in this area. So under our financial management area, we have, as I was saying before, report packs. We have a whole series of report packs, and they're based on companies and groups of reports. So at the end of the month, we just have a monthly corporation pack and a monthly San Jose water pack that the department runs, the financial department runs. The other report packs are for use by smaller groups of people. If they're just working with the public utility commissions, they only need the public utility report. If they're just working with one division, they may only need that division's report. So we have different packs. Okay, so what I've done here is opened up one of the report packs, and you can see that we have a particular set of columns that we do every month. At the bottom here, you'll see all the tabs. So just walking through here, you can see that we have a whole series of reports. And the only thing they have to change are the period number each month. And we actually are setting up a global update so that we can update all the time series and data selectors so that they're automatically rolled forward to the next month. The nice part about a report pack is that we're now publishing in a PDF format, which is our standard, the way the standard reports distribute to the executive board and our management team. So now they get a PDF with, this particular one has 51 pages in it, and you can see down the left-hand side you have a toolbar with all of the reports in it. And there's a long, long list. The nice part is that in the report pack, these reports come out in the same order every single month. Previously, this is what it looked like. She would go, our accounting department would actually run each report, drop it into a folder for the month, and rename it. And so the names were fairly consistent, but as you can see, there's just a laundry list of individual PDFs here that they would then have to go open the ones they wanted to see. They were printing this and publishing it physically in a paper package to those board members and executive management. So this is much more efficient. And like I said, they can do this in 15 minutes. If you can imagine taking a 51-page report and having to put it in the right order and then make Xerox copies for a team of 10 or 15 people, this is a lot more efficient.
Linda?
Yes.
We have a question, and I hope I pronounced this right, from Sam Choi. The question is, are all the reports in the report pack linked?
They have links, drill down links. I believe that's what the intention is. We're working on adding additional drill downs. Right now, like the balance sheet only drills down to the balances for that account or the transaction detail. And we're talking with different departments right now as to what, in their areas, say the operating expense report, what do they want to drill down to? Do they want something different than what the standard balance view or transaction view looks like?
This person is also asking, if we add an object account, will it update the reports in the report pack?
Yes, it will. We're using hierarchies, and I can actually open up this one. So what we've done is used business unit category codes for every account. So in this case, we've used report code 41, and if I just do a scan here. So we have either assets or liabilities, basically our A's and A's and L's. We have expenses and revenue. So in category 41, we have our balance sheet category codes, and in category 42, we have our expense and income category codes. So we built the hierarchy around codes. So if I open up, if you're familiar with hierarchy, here's the land company code. So we pulled A49 over. If they make an account change within, like you said, a new object, they need to apply a category code that exists in the category 41 table. And that causes it to drop into the specific line of that report. So there's no report change when they add a new object. The only time we have to touch the hierarchy is if they want to move something around on the financial report itself in terms of adding it into a different line or breaking it apart and having it subtotal in a different place. We might have to modify the hierarchy, and then the hierarchy then applies to all reports that use that hierarchy. I'm sorry, the other time would be if they add a new category code to the code 41 table or the code 42 table. We obviously need to add it to the report or it won't pick up at all. So this report pack includes balance sheet and income statement items, and as you go across, we do have things like expense reports for departmental organizations. So this would be one of our production expense reports, and this would drill down in a different fashion. Right now it's still drilling to transactions. This one's built a little bit differently, but it is built off of category 42, but in combination it also uses business unit categories. And again, it will only change if you use a new category, add a new category, or want to change the order of things. The other thing I wanted to show is the revenue information that we're gathering from our customer care system. So this looks very busy up here at the top, so I'm just going to close our selections. But all we really are selecting here on is the date. So we start with the beginning of the month through the end of the month, and this report builds as every month or every day of the billing cycle is processed. And so you can see here we have things like revenue, we have thousands of cubic feet of water, and their average dollars. All these calculations are being pre-done within the insight inquiry, and they can analyze where we're at. And then this particular column here that's color-coded, we're using the regular stoplight type audit just to check to make sure that the number's coming out right. Down here we have one that's a little bit high, and it's not color-coded, so it probably needs to be looked at. And it could just be that it's a minor change, but it's giving them a lot more information to analyze and look at on a daily basis as opposed to looking at all this information at month end. And so again, this is a report pack that's designed for the billing department, customer service, and our accounting department that analyzes water revenue. And as you can see down the left-hand column, as the month goes on, it just proceeds to get a little bit longer. So this is last month's report. There's also tabs within this report that take you to different breakdowns of business types of revenue. It just uses accounts and objects. It doesn't use a hierarchy. So they're able to open this up and send it over to Excel. And they normally save a copy of Excel because different people are working through it. So we have commercial revenue. We have our fire protection. And so you can see here that fire protection doesn't get billed every single day of the month. They only have activity certain days. Industrial business revenue. We have portable meter revenue. So there's different breakdowns, and they can analyze this and compare it to last month or the same period last year, things like that. So it's been really efficient for them to analyze throughout the month. Those were the two primary things I wanted to show. So if you have any other questions.
If you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to contact us. We will make sure that they get answered. Linda, thank you very much for your time today. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.